3 months ago, I thought I had everything figured out. My name's Derek. I'm 32, work in software development, recently bought my first house, and was engaged to a woman I genuinely believed was my forever person. Her name's Emily. Beautiful, sharp, the kind of person who could win over a room in under 5 minutes. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party 3 years ago, started talking over a shared hatred of pineapple on pizza, and somehow never stopped. We got engaged last December. It was perfect. Snowy rooftop string lights, champagne, the whole Nicholas Sparks starter pack. She said yes through tears, and I swear in that moment I'd never felt more sure about anything in my life. So you'll understand why what happened next nearly broke me. It was a random Thursday. I came home early from work because of a power outage at the office. I didn't tell Emily, figured I'd surprise her. She's been super stressed lately with wedding planning, and I thought maybe I'd take her out to dinner, remind her she doesn't have to do it all alone. When I opened the front door, I heard her voice from the living room. Soft emotional, she was rehearsing something. I froze in the hallway. I knew from the moment you walked into that cafe, she said, voice trembling, that I was meant to love you. You weren't what I expected. You were more. You broke through walls I didn't even know I had. I smiled to myself. She was practicing her vows, but then she said his name, Jake. I stopped breathing. Jake, not Derek, Jake. There was no Jake in our circle, no Jake in her family, and certainly no Jake on the guest list. I stayed silent, listening. She kept going. You saw the real me, the messy, unfiltered, raw me, and somehow you didn't run. You held me, you stayed. My chest got tight. I backed up, slowly, carefully, and left the house without a sound. I sat in my car for an hour, engine off, phone in hand, staring at the steering wheel like it could give me answers. Who the hell is Jake? Why is she writing wedding vows to someone else? And why does it sound like she's in love with him? I didn't confront her that night. I went to a friend's place instead, crashed on his couch, and made up a story about needing space from the wedding chaos. He didn't ask questions. I needed time, a plan. Proof, because one thing was very, very clear. Emily was hiding something, and whatever it was. It started long before that Thursday. I didn't sleep that night, not really. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my phone glowing dimly beside me, the open message still visible. That house, the green one with the broken porch, that's his. Ask him about Anna and the kids. Anna and the kids. I'd read it 10 times more. I should have deleted it. Should have chalked it up to some bitter ex-employee or disgruntled weirdo, but it felt real. It had that awful ring of truth that you can't explain, just feel in your bones. I went to work the next day pretending nothing was wrong. I smiled. I made jokes. I answered emails, but inside I was spinning. My brain kept repeating the same sentence like a broken record. Ask him about Anna and the kids. That night after dinner, I found him in the garage. He was organizing fishing gear, humming to himself like he always did when he was relaxed. Hey, Dad, I said, trying to sound normal. My voice cracked anyway. He glanced up. Hey, sport, what's up? I saw you yesterday on Edison Street, talking to that woman outside the greenhouse. He froze just for a second, but I caught it. Then he went back to coiling fishing line. Oh yeah, I drop off groceries for a few neighbors sometimes. Single mom, I think. Nice lady. Her name's Anna. Another pause. This one was longer. His hand stopped moving. Yeah, he said finally, slowly, I think so. Do you know her well? He looked at me, not in a fatherly way, not warm. His eyes narrowed slightly, scanning me like I was. A puzzle he didn't quite understand. Why are you asking about Anna? I shrugged, played dumb, just curious. Someone at work mentioned seeing you there a lot. Thought it was odd. He gave a tight smile. Helping people isn't odd. Maybe you should try it sometime. The jab stung more than it should have. But I didn't push further, not yet. Instead, I waited 2 more days, watching him like a hawk, and then Friday came. He left for bowling night, around 6:45, same as always, except this time I followed him. I know how that sounds, like a bad sitcom plot or some paranoid kid who reads too many crime novels, but you've never seen someone like my dad. He was too perfect, too polished, like he rehearsed his whole personality. Once you saw the cracks, you couldn't unsee them. I waited 5 minutes, then slipped into my car and tailed him. Kept 2 cars behind. Lights off. He didn't go to the bowling alley. He didn't even head in that direction. He drove 4 blocks over and turned onto Edison Street, right up to that same greenhouse, and then he walked right in, no knock, no waiting, just opened the door and stepped inside like he lived there. I sat there for a long time, staring at the house, my hands shaking. At one point, the porch light turned on, and through the window I saw them, a little boy, a girl, and Anna. The boy couldn't have been more than 6. The girl maybe 10. She had curly brown hair and wore a hoodie that looked eerily familiar. My dad's bowling league hoodie. And then it hit me like a freight train, the way the little boy jumped into his arms. The way Anna kissed him, not like a neighbor, not like a friend, like a wife. My breath caught in my throat. I didn't even know I'd started crying until I saw the wet spots on my jeans. I drove away before they could see me. And when I got home, I didn't go inside. I just sat in my car in the driveway, staring at the garage door, feeling like my entire life had just cracked down the middle. I didn't sleep that night either. And by morning, I had a plan. It's one thing to suspect something. It's another to prove it. I started digging. I knew a guy from college who did freelance background checks for corporate jobs. I called in a favor. Gave him Anna's name, address, and told him to be discreet. What he found blew everything wide open. Her legal last name, same as ours, her emergency contact, my dad, the kids' birth certificates, father listed as David. David Robert Kessler, my father. I nearly threw up. There were no divorce papers between him and my mom, no records of separation, which meant one thing. He had 2 families at the same time. My mom, my brother, and I were family #1. Anna and the kids family #2, and they lived 2 streets away. I didn't know what to do, who to tell, how to even begin that conversation, but life, in its wonderfully cruel timing, decided for me. Because 2 nights later, Anna showed up at our front door. It was around 8 p.m. when the doorbell rang. Mom was in the kitchen doing dishes. I was on the couch, pretending to watch TV but mostly staring at my phone, rereading everything the background check guy had sent me. It didn't feel real. None of it did. My dad was out late shift, he said. When the doorbell rang, Mom called out, "Can you get that, honey?" I opened the door expecting maybe a delivery, but it wasn't that. It was Anna. She looked normal, not like a homewrecker, not like some villainous figure from a soap opera, just a tired woman in a gray cardigan holding a tote bag and a nervous look. She stared at me for a second, like she was trying to place my face. Then she whispered, "You must be his son." My stomach dropped through the floor. "You need to go," I said, stepping halfway out the door to block her from being seen by my mom. "I wouldn't be here if I didn't have to," she said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were glossy. "I didn't know, not until this week. He told me he was divorced. I thought you should know. He's been lying to both of us." That word, both, it was real now. Not just screenshots and speculation. The woman from the other house was standing on our doorstep, looking at me like I was just as much a victim as she was. Behind me, I heard footsteps. "Who is it?" Mom called. I panicked. "It's just someone selling something." But it was too late. Mom walked into the foyer, drying her hands with a dish towel. She saw Anna, saw me standing awkwardly, and then she saw the look on Anna's face. "Can I help you?" Mom asked, frowning. Anna stared at her. For a beat, no one said anything. Then Anna's lip quivered. "I'm sorry." She whispered, "I thought you knew." "Knew what?" Anna looked at me like she needed permission. I gave the tiniest nod. "Your husband," she said softly, "has another family." Mom's face contorted, confusion first, then disbelief. "What the hell are you talking about?" She snapped. Anna opened her tote bag, pulled out an envelope, and handed it to her. Inside were pictures, birth certificates, printouts of texts, proof. Mom didn't say a word. She just stood there, flipping through it all. Her hands started to shake. Her breathing turned shallow. I thought she was going to pass out. "I'm sorry," Anna said again. "I really didn't know. I only found out this week. I thought he was coming clean to you." And with that, she left, just turned and walked down the porch stairs, head down. My mom sat on the floor right there in the foyer, didn't speak, didn't cry, just sat there holding the envelope. I sat with her. We waited in silence until my dad came home. When he walked in and saw us sitting there, he froze. He knew instantly what's going on. He asked, his voice tight. I stood up, walked right up to him and handed him the envelope. He looked inside, pulled out one photo, a text, a certificate, and for the first time in my life I saw my father speechless. He looked up at me, then at my mom, and then he did something I'll never forget. He sighed, like we were inconveniencing him. I was going to tell you, he said, when my mom screamed. Her voice cracked halfway through the word. I had it under control. He muttered under control, like we were a business deal gone sideways. The rest of that night was a blur of shouting, crying, door slamming. At some point he left just. Walked out, got in his car and drove off, and that was it. It's been 3 months now. My mom filed for divorce immediately. She's doing better, all things considered. Says the worst part is realizing how long she was lied to, not even the betrayal itself. As for me, I've met Anna's kids, my half. Siblings, it's weird surreal. But they're just kids, innocent. None of this is their fault. Anna and I talk sometimes. She feels just as broken as we do. But we're trying to make some kind of peace out of the wreckage. My dad, he's staying with a friend last I heard. He tried calling me once. I let it ring. He didn't leave a message. He had 2 families. Now he has none.